Hey everybody, this is Matt with Option Omega. Thanks for checking out the video. This video is going to be a great one to watch if you're new to the platform, to backtesting. And we have called it Making Friends with the Punisher. The reason is we're going to spend the entire time talking about the miscellaneous options down here. Troy, one of the co-founders of Option Omega, calls this section the Punisher. One of the things that Troy says about Option Omega is that it's not just a good place to try to find backtest ideas that might help you looking for good strategies. It's also a great place to eliminate bad strategies. So what we're going to do is look at these miscellaneous options and see how they can make your backtests possibly more accurate or more helpful to you, even if the backtests get worse, and kind of especially if the backtests get worse. So we'll start with this simple one. This is just a Strangle. You are buying a 1DTE option on Wednesday because Thursdays have been kind of crazy, whatever. And it has two exit conditions on this. So my first thing when I look at a test like this is, man, they are leaving off a lot of good stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the miscellaneous options section here. And the first thing is most brokers, now we're looking at SPX now. Most brokers charge a fee for SPX. We do have other symbols in here that there may be some brokers that don't charge a fee, but I see a lot of SPX tests where there's no fee. So I'd recommend a fee. The next thing is you probably want some amount of slippage. So we're going to do 10 cents entry, 10 cents exit, and we're going to do 20 cents on the stop loss. Actually, we'll do 20 cents on the stop loss. So here's the way the slippages work. The entry is on entering the trade, right? That's pretty straightforward. The exit is when you close the trade. Now in this, we had a profit target and a stop loss. So that's only going to apply on the profit target because we have special stop loss slippage that overrides the exit slippage. Now this trade is probably not quite as susceptible to stop loss slippage as some trades would be because you're just long two options and you're probably going to experience time decay, which happens slowly rather than a gamma or a delta move, which can blow you out of a position like a vertical spread. So we're going to do those two things. We're going to ignore the wide bid ask. Probably not super important to do that on this test, but it is on some back tests. And what the wide bid ask is simply if the bid and the ask is too far apart, it will flag the trade and you can ignore it. The other things that we're going to do on this is we will cap the profit target and we'll require 2 hits at the profit target. And we'll look at all these in more detail, but let's see what just those couple changes did to the back test. Well, it definitely took some of the profit out, which happened because, again, you've got fees and slippage working directly against you. And because of the cap profits, what that does is we have a 50% profit target. So on those situations where you have a profitable trade like right here, that will make sure that your profit does not exceed your profit target. We're using 1-minute data in the backtester, and there are most of the time actually when you have a 1 minute that hits the profit target, it's not going to be exactly at your target. So that will cap it to be exactly at your target. There is a cap stop losses. We're not going to use that one. We're going to make it a little more conservative and just use it. The other thing that we're going to do is we will require 2 hits. So the way that this works is, I'll give you a good example here. On this trade on the 19th, we did a profit target like all of them. And what it checked for is it checked that at 9:32 in the morning when it opened, so this clearly was an overnight move. It checked at 9:32 that the profit condition was met, and it also checked at 9:33 that the profit condition was met. It closed it at the first condition, but it checked it to make sure you didn't have a momentary liquidity. Sometimes the trade replay is very helpful. In this case, it's not as helpful because you closed it first thing in the morning, so it was an overnight gap, and that's the reason why it closed at 9:33 or 9:32. And as you can see, that actually happens pretty frequently. A lot of the trades either hit a target from movement or a loss from decay in this case, due to the overnight time frame. So that is how you can use slippage and fees. And then you can use cap profits and require 2 hits on the profit target to make sure that your trade isn't getting spiked out by an illiquid moment, and you're also capturing the amount that you're trying to actually capture instead of something greater. So now that we've looked at that test, let's look at a couple others. This one is a put on SPY. I was having a conversation with somebody recently, and they were talking about, with interest rates being higher, they were curious what selling puts, just naked puts on SPY, if they had a ton of capital lying around. This is a test you could use to simulate selling a put on SPY. And what I want to point out on this is SPY is the most liquid options ticker in the world by total volume. And I have in here 60 cents entry slippage. Now, this test, you're just selling, a couple contracts, 6-7 contracts a time. So one slippage amount of 60 cents is not going to break probably or make the test. But the reason it's on there is because you're looking at a 400-day out leap at 25 delta. And you may not have a ton of liquidity on that given strike on any given day, especially if the market's in a more calm or upward churning time and there's not a ton of options. So the point of this is just to say, hey, when I looked at this recently, the bid ask was about $2 wide. So 60 cent slippage might be a little much, or that might be an appropriate amount. So the point in showing you that test and also this one is just that you want to try to model the accurate slippage. Here's another one. This is a test that some folks traded. It's a 4-9 double calendar. And in this back test, it only shows 10 cents entry and exit slippage. There's no stop loss. So the stop loss slippage is not going to be brought up, which, by the way, that's a point worth noting. Some of these conditions under miscellaneous options will not be available if you don't have a qualifier to make them be available. For instance, if I got rid of the profit target, I wouldn't have the choice of capping the profits at profit target or requiring 2 hits of the profit target if we don't have a profit target. My point with showing this one is, again, it's more of a commentary on slippage. And what happens is, if you look at this test just a week ago here, it closed in the money. So at the end of the day, the back test closed, and you can see, got up there, there was some big market movement and the test ramped in value. But what's interesting is, even though that test closed profitable, you might want more exit slippage than 10 cents. Once you start going in the money, now this is pretty close to at the money, but especially when you have tests that are farther in the money, if you're on SPX and you're 30, 40 points in the money, you might need something more than 10 cents or 5 cents. You might need something that is more suitable for the test. So if we do 40 cents, is that too much? Maybe. Is that enough? Maybe. I don't know. I didn't trade this trade every single time. You can see the absolutely massive difference that it makes on this. So again, back to the original point that Troy made, this tool, Option Omega, is a great way to beat up your ideas and make sure they're as resilient as you think they're going to be. So those are a few ways that you can use this miscellaneous options section. Again, Troy affectionately calls it the Punisher. So make friends with the Punisher. Thanks for watching the video. As always, like and subscribe. We have subscriptions monthly and annual at optionomega.com. You can hop on the Discord as well and check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/optionomega. Thanks so much. Have a great day.